Hello and welcome to the Boro Breakdown podcast. The lowdown shown on Finn Azaz. And last week Middlesbrough confirmed the sign of the midfielder on a 4.5-year deal from Aston Villa. But we have seen him play for Plymouth this season. He even scored against Boro in our game at Home Park. But who is he? Where's he from? And why have Boro signed him? He is quite like Rodgers and Gilbert and Marcus Forss, because Finn Azaz actually joined an illustrious club of West Brom's academy. He was obviously born in Westminster, but he's an Irish and Israeli descent. He plays internationally for Ireland as well in the 21s, and he joined Aston Villa in 2021. Enjoying obviously the loan spell at Newport and at Plymouth as well. And he was actually the League Two Player of the Season in 2021 and in the Team of the Season too. And also the last 18 months, yes, he's been at Aston Villa, but he's been playing for Plymouth on an 18-month loan deal. He came back this year, and they were expected to see him out for a whole 12 months. For Boro have vultured in and got him in the January window. So we decided, since he had got 12 goal contributions already this season for Plymouth, we decided to speak with Argyle Life to find out a little bit more about Boro's new man.
Hi guys, let's see if I can get through this without a lump in my throat or bursting into tears. You got yourself a fantastic player and also someone who seems like a fantastic person. Certainly one of the best players that I've seen at Argyle in my time as a fan. Obviously, we have spent a lot of that time operating at a level below where you guys have been. That being said, he's someone who's clearly improved every season through his career, up from League Two initially with, I believe, Cheltenham and then Newport. Came to us in League One last season as we won the title and was absolutely fantastic. I think was really just hitting his stride as well when he got an unfortunate injury in sort of late October kind of time, which ruled him out for several months, but he came back in towards the end of the season. Maybe didn't quite hit the heights as he was coming back, but still scored some really important goals for us in the run-in as we clinched the title. Came back on loan in the summer. It was kind of a long summer of will he, won't he come back, because it took a while for that to get finalised, but he did come back. And he has just gone from strength to strength since then as one of his bigger fans, I would imagine, within the fan base. I thought he would be good at this level. I didn't realise quite how good he would be. And I think that the fact that he has been recalled by Villa to get this move to you is a testament to that. Otherwise, I think he would have stayed here until the end of the season, at least, maybe beyond that, who knows. But he's just been absolutely superb. Obviously, your fans will know about the goal he scored against you. We will know that that's not an irregular occurrence for him. He has scored some unbelievable strikes, a couple from the edge of the box, including against Watford, his last goal for us on New Year's Day. One of the best goals, if not the best, I can remember an Argyle player scoring. Just a delightful, cushioned side foot volley into the corner from the edge of the box. Most players, I think, would slash at that or would lace it. And it's just a testament to his intelligence and vision, how he instead, just took it on the side foot. It's a delightful piece of technique. Other than that, he scored a couple of goals where he sort of teased defenders, twisted them inside and out, and sort of swished a finish into the corner. He is, I think, for his age in particular, a phenomenally intelligent and mature player. He doesn't play like you would necessarily expect a young loanee to play. He's got clearly a very old, wise head on his shoulders already. That's not to say he's lacking in pace or energy or anything like that. It's just that he reads the game so well. He doesn't quite need to hare around like some other young players. He's brilliant in transition, moves the ball incredibly quickly. Not entirely sure how you guys always like to set up under Carrick. Obviously, I know you're a very attacking side. I'm sure that will favour him. I think for us as a side who are, trying to consolidate at this level and find ourselves under the cosh quite a lot, he's someone who's been very, very useful at turning defence into attack with sort of very penetrating passes and pieces of movement. But in short, I think he's somebody who is destined for the very, very highest level. Obviously, you'll hope that can be with you. But I've been saying for several weeks now, just after seeing how good he has been in the Championship, that I think the guy has an unbelievable ceiling. He is, just an incredibly mature player, incredibly intelligent, a scorer of some absolutely great goals. And if he is half as good for you as he has been for us, I think you're going to absolutely love him. Look after him.
I feel bad for taking him off Plymouth now. It was I feel really bad for it. But Dana, what's your thoughts on Boro's new recruit? Obviously, really positive words there. I feel like it was a lot of positive conversations or tweets going around Finn Azaz, and there have been for a while now. So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the deal?
Yeah, well, he's a very technically gifted footballer, good first touch, really impressive close control, as what was mentioned there, very intelligent, possesses really good vision to spot runs ahead of him. If you've watched his interview when he signed for Boro, he said himself that he's always looking to find space and play forwards, which is music to every Boro fan's ears, I think. He's averaging 6 shot-creating actions per 90 this season, only 2 players better that, Pritchard and Somerville, although Pritchard has had a few less 90 minutes than those two mentioned players there. 80% of his shot-creating actions are open play passes, so it's not a figure bumped up by set pieces like it was with Dan Barlaser, for example. He's 6th for goal-creating actions with 13, and to paint a picture of the company that he's in, he's up there with Jack Clark, Morgan Whittaker, his Plymouth teammate, or ex-Plymouth teammate now, Gabriel Sara of Norwich, Jorginho Rutter, and Keenan Dewsbury Hall. He strikes the ball exceptionally well, hence his high collection of his collection of high quality goals, not just for Plymouth but for Newport too, actually. He's an effective dribbler, I'd say, more than a high volume one. He averages 3 take-ons per 90, which is about the league average, but his take-on success rate is 55%, which is in the top 10 percentile in the championship.
Yeah, and for me, Dana, as well, like the way that like he's comfortable with both his feet is a bit of a thing that I looked at when we were reviewing the clips. But I think I echo what Argo Life was saying there around him being a really intelligent footballer and like how he picks up and finds himself in space. So I think when you look at Carrick's probably principles and how he wants to play and how you occupy and how you create space, he really does fit that mold. And what I really like about this deal is that 2.5 million, I think one is an absolute snip, but two, how Boro can create more and more chances. I think we're becoming a really fun team. I think because of when you look at players, say I'll start from the back really. I think when you look at Engel and Bangura on that left-hand side, you've got Hackney and Barlaser in midfield who are able to play the ball through and really carry it really well. You've got Rogers, who's just in an abundance and shows so much quality at this moment in time. A bit rash at times, but again, creates chances. Jones is quite good at slipping the ball through. And when you talk about Riley McGree, I can't say much more about how good he is. And then you've got the set pieces of Greenwood as well. And when you bring Azaz into the equation, I think there's going to be one person that really benefits, or maybe two, in Latte and also Josh Coleman. I think Latte more because of how Latte is able to peel off players and get himself in behind. And, you know, hopefully he can increase his shot conversions a little bit more, because if he does, you've got yourself a really good player in there as well in Latte. But for me, I think Azaz is a really, really strong signing for us. And, you know, the way he's able to drive the ball up the pitch and I think it's shown. I think it's backed it. I think it's backed. But not just with the videos that we show, but also and you see, but also I think statistically as well, the top 4% for that as well. So for me, I'm really happy with this sign. I think the deal is really good at a 4.5-year deal on a really young player. With a high ceiling. I'm really, really happy about it. But I think the one big bonus of this deal for me is just how creative Boro are and how they can be in different areas. But we're really building up a nice portfolio of creative players. And yes, a couple of dribbly boys here and there. But if we can try and combine the crosses again, I know we are trying to work the ball in the box a lot more this season. If we're able to maybe adapt a bit more on our crosses and set pieces to refine those a little bit more, if you're a striker and you're not performing with the amount of chances that we create, there's something fundamentally wrong, I think, with a striker. But for me, I think I'm really, really happy with it. But there's always positives, Dan, and we sound excited that we've signed Finn Azaz, but there is some development points that I think he could potentially work on, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been played in a few positions for Plymouth this season, including the left side of a midfield 3. Now, I don't envisage Boro switching to like a 4-3-3, for example, so I don't think that his lack of defensive prowess necessarily at this point in his career is that much of a problem. I will say he's not the quickest, but I do think people put far too much emphasis on pace nowadays. I think so long as you're not playing in a traditional get down the line, or playing as a traditional get down the line winger, or are in a staunchly counter-attacking team, then I think it's more of a bonus than a necessity. And I know Boro last season were top for counter-attacking goals scored, but we are not really a counter-attacking team. We are the type of team that wants to circulate possession, wants to play the ball into the box. I think we saw against Huddersfield, one of the criticisms of the team in that game was that we were probably passing it a little bit too much. With Finn Azaz, Plymouth fans have said that he does take too many touches around the box, maybe waiting for the space to open up. So I did notice that whilst watching him. I think that could frustrate Boro fans, but to be fair, playing in a Michael Carrick team, I think will suit Finn Azaz because we play predominantly possession football, and I think that absolutely suits him. And I think it's always good to hear Plymouth fans' perspective on a signing that we have. And we did put a tweet out about him joining, and when we said, "We come in peace. What is Finn Azaz like?" And I did get a few reactions. So Jack Leslie said, "In an attacking side, the bloke's a colossus. His creativity is off the charts. His passing range is sublime. His footwork is just silly. Chops people for fun. Incredible passing range. Capable of scoring ridiculous goals. Give him freedom to express himself and enjoy." Curtis Evans said, "Can create something from nothing. 2.5, absolute bargain." Stuart said, "When he's good, he's amazing. When not, he could disappear in games. He needs some space and freedom to work, but will be worth a few goals for you this season." Trent said, "Brilliant for us. We'll need to simplify his game for a top club," which is an interesting point, actually, because he has progressed from League Two to League One to the Championship. He's now at a club with a bit more expectation than the rest. So how will he improve and step up further? But Trent says has too many touches, which will frustrate you. And then I liked this one just to finish. A player that will do the unexpected, one of those that has a photographic mind and can see the pitch 2 or 3 passes ahead. If he played chess, he'd be a grandmaster. So some really good positive affirmations there from Plymouth fans.
Yeah, and I love the analogy of the chess because I was a big fan of Pep's book when I was reading it in the summer, and he was saying like how football is so similar to chess, and it actually put me on another book saying how life imitates chess, and it was just like it's just how things all come together and like 2 or 3 pieces ahead. But also when you do watch football as well, I never watch the ball now. I always watch a game. Like I don't watch the ball, I just watch the people around it and just see how things move, which is actually it opens up a completely different way of watching football. But anyway, the point is, Boro have now got another midfielder who, by the looks of it, looks really positive. But it does kind of create a bit of a problem for Boro to some extent, but a good problem. That when you look at Middlesbrough's midfield now, so I know Finn has played in multiple positions already this season, played in that deeper role, but also he's probably more effective in. They're probably a bit further up the pitch. But when we look at Boro's options, Don, now in midfield, you've got Hayden Hackney, Johnny Howson, Dan Ballasser, Lewis O'Brien, who's expected to come back in about late January, February time. You've got higher up the pitch, you've got Riley McGree, Sam Greenwood, Rogers, Crooks, Jones, and Marcus Force, again, who is hopefully very close to returning as well here in Mermers in a couple of weeks, maybe sooner. But what do you think, Finn Azaz? What do you think? What do you think about Carrick in terms of where he's going to play him? But then also, who does he take over in this team? Because like we've certainly got a lot of creative players in that. So where does he fit?
I think right now in Sam Greenwood's position on that left-hand side, we know that it's not a traditional left winger role. It's not a get down the line type of approach. It's move in field and try to almost be the wide playmaker, if you will, but coming inside. And I think that will suit Finn Azaz because he's very good at chopping inside. And that's what I think when you look at traits, you remember the George Friend cut inside, things like that. I think Finn Azaz has that trait of chopping people essentially, and I think that working it from wide to central might suit him. And I think Sam Greenwood's performances have not been particularly effective. I think he really needs to be stronger in his displays just generally over the course of 90 minutes. So I think right now he plays on that left wing position, but moving mid-term to long-term, I think you look at him in that number 10 role, but it's difficult at the moment, isn't it? Because Morgan Rogers is coming into good form, and I don't think you stunt his development in any way by putting a player in his position that he's currently excelling in. So I would say the weakest player right now in that three behind the strikers is Greenwood. So I would play Finn Azaz there. But as I said, mid to long term, move him more central, and then hopefully we can get him on the ball and get him cutting through teams when we do face the low block, because he's the type of player that can find that space, that can move players around, just shift them away basically with his really neat footwork. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I think that this is a good deal for Boro, and it offers us flexibility, doesn't it?
Yeah, and what I'm thinking now, like when everyone's fit and when everyone's back from obviously Age Cup as well, and with Silvera as well. I didn't mention in that as well, just in terms of
Yeah.
options. So obviously having Silvera into that fold of higher players on the pitch, like what is that best five now, and who it could be? And for me, I'm looking at probably the deep role when Lewis O'Brien's back. I think he walks into the team. I think O'Brien and Hackney's that too, and that is such an exciting two. It won't be for probably long for Boro fans. I just can't see Ed Hackney staying in the summer. I just really can't. And then on that, and the three players ahead of him, like I'm looking probably Riley McGray on that left hand side. I'm looking at Morgan Rogers on the right, and I think Rogers is a winger by trade, but the more centrally he's looking more exciting. And then I think Finn Azaz is in that middle, and I think if you put Lyle off the top and you've got Engel on the left or Mangura, that is a very exciting team to look at. But what's your best five then? What would you go for?
Lath up front, but I will say that it's kind of 6-2-3s with him and Coburn. I do think we need reinforcement in that number 9
Definitely.
position. But right now, I'd probably say Lath just because of his movement, and I think that it would really complement Finn Azaz and whoever we play midfield, be it Barlaser, Hackney or Brian Houser. I think it will really help that. McGree on the left, Azaz in the middle. Right wing's an interesting one because
Marcus Forss
Jones
as well.
is, Marcus Forss. You know what? I'd actually put Forss in there, but then I feel like it's really harsh on Rogers. If we could somehow have a team with
Marcus Forss
Rogers
up
in
top
it.
though. Forss up top.
I mean, I
good
wanted
runs in
that in the
behind.
I
Good
wanted
finisher
that
in the
in the
box.
summer. I wanted that in the summer, but I just don't see it happening for some reason. I think that Carrick just doesn't see him as a number 9, which is really strange, isn't it? Because given the fact that we've got only 2 strikers now, when you look at it through probably Carrick's lens, it could easily be 3 if you just put Marcus Forss in the middle. But yeah, I'd probably say Latte Lath, Azaz behind him, McGree on the left, Force on the right. I think I'd go with that.
Yeah, I like that. I was going to say on mine, I would maybe to change like after Force, and we're all happy, and But again, like I think I was coming back to that point earlier on Boro is like creativity and having players in those areas. I think Boro could be in a really good position in terms of creating those chances. So it's an exciting prospect, but I always come to the most important question of the LOWDOWN Dana, and everyone's been waiting for this. Rank out the sign out of 5. What would you rank it?
I would go with a 4.5. I
Yeah.
think firstly the reported fee, what is it, 2.5 million, an absolute snip if that is true. He's a player that is constantly progressing, so that 2.5 could be looked at as a really, really good deal. And I think it is right now, to be fair. And I also think that although it's not a position that we're in desperate need of reinforcements in, I think it just adds to the quality and it adds to our creativity, and it probably also gives us a little bit more of a goal threat from outside of the striker position. So I really like this deal, and a lot of championship observers are looking at it and thinking, how on earth have Boro managed to pull this off for such a low value, really, a low amount? So I like it, and it's also a 4.5-year deal at 4.5 year deal. Went far too numerical there, didn't I? 4.5-year deal, and I think that is, you don't really see that often, do you? So this is an investment, and he's 23. It's a good age to progress, but also to really deliver right now for us. I think that he can do that. He's a very good player, very intelligent as well. So the whole lack of pace thing that I've heard, not just from my own observations, but from Plymouth fans as well, it's more about, for me, quickness in thinking, quickness in seeing things open up on the pitch. I think Finn Azaz has that. We've also got a player in Dan Barlaser that's very similar to that in that he tries to see the picture open up before it's really played out in front of him. So there's two very good options that we have, but Finn Azaz just obviously a little bit more further in front. So yeah, I'd say 4.5 on the stars. I really like this deal.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm a similar on a 4.5. I'm not saying 5 because I just feel like I've been burnt by Engel a little bit. But Engel is getting better and better, and I love that man. And for me, yeah, look, the deal as well, 4.5-year deal. We're seeing probably Boro sign a lot of players now on that 4-year deal, using amortization. I can never say that word. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is the spreading out that cost over a 4-year deal. You know, it looks better for us in financial fair play. And you have that investment in a player, and we're signing these younger players with a higher ceiling now, and it's really promises in a club perspective that we're doing that. And for me to sign a player who looks fantastic in this division, showing that progression as a footballer, isn't it? A really intelligent player. I think it's really good business from Boro. I really, really do. I could probably push it to a 5, but I just don't want to get burnt. Do I want to say? You know what? Yeah, go on, have a 5.
Well,
Finn, have a 5.
The reason why I didn't say a 5 is just because in my head, Cameron Archer last season was a 5, and he was like the final piece in the jigsaw.
I get
and
that.
I don't quite think Finn Azaz is, but he just adds to the furthers the quality that we have.
Okay, we'll go back 4.5, and that's it. But guys, give us your ratings as well in our comments. Let us know by tweeting as well, Boro_breakdown, or let us know on Facebook and Instagram and all those social media platforms that we are on. But for right now, this has been the Boro Breakdown podcast, and that was all your Finn Azaz chatter in a pod. Up the Boro Breakdown.